I had made a crucial error in my calculations. What I thought was west was in fact east. This became clear to me as what was supposed to be an hour of bushwhacking and walking turned into 2, then 3, then 4. I began to panic. This jungle was not the kind of place that was kind to the lost and weary at night. The stories of search parties only finding remains of lost travelers permeated my mind as I anxiously kept walking. The trip had started with an idea back home given to me by a friend. He had said that there was a rare species of monkey that lived in the jungle. Nobody had ever been able to capture or kill one. In fact, it had only ever been seen by 2 men who had been searching for ancient ruins deep in the jungle. The only known image of it was drawn by one of these men. Most of the lore behind the rare creature came from the native tribe that inhabited the deep reaches of the jungle. In order to reach this part of the jungle, you had to fly into a small dirt airstrip that had been left behind by a group of illegal gold miners decades ago. It's barely big enough to fit a single-engine plane. I chartered a flight from a grizzly old war pilot from the closest city possible, which was unbelievably over 200 miles away. Just getting to the airstrip was an adventure all its own. If I had known the trouble that would fall upon me once I got off that plane, I would never have come to this part of the jungle in the first place. Today had started like any other day of the hunting trip. I woke up to the menagerie of birds over my head chirping and singing their many different and distinct songs. Unzipping the tent flap, I crawled out into the morning air. Unsurprisingly, it was oppressively humid. I broke down my tent and gathered all my things to begin my journey back to the airstrip, where I was supposed to meet the man who had flown me in. After kicking dirt over the still smoldering coals of the fire, I set out in what I thought was the right direction. I quite enjoyed being alone. Coming from a big city, the tranquility of solitude put me at ease. The jungle is not much different from the city, except for there are no other human beings. It is never quiet, and it certainly never sleeps. My thoughts wandered. In a humidity-induced daze, I thought about how the trees were like the skyscrapers at home, hundreds of birds and other animals alike living in each one. When I was able to gather my wits and shake off the haze and fog that came over my mind, I quickly realized something was wrong. I could not find the small but distinct mud trail that had led me into the jungle. My anxiety heightened. As the light slowly started to fade, dimming seemingly quicker with each step I took. I had a flashlight, but that would be of little help in the dense jungle undergrowth. I thought of how much of a waste this trip was because I did not even manage to find the elusive monkey I was searching for. This trip was a disaster, and now I was lost. I came upon a clearing just as the last shards of light stopped cutting through the canopy. I dropped my backpack and pitched the tent. My stomach rolled over itself inside me, signaling that I had not eaten since I began walking hours ago. I rummaged through my backpack, and to my distress, I had nothing to eat. Disgruntled and anxious all at the same time, I tried to sleep. Waking up to the birds and the sounds of the jungle did not have the same effect as the day prior. I wished that every last bird would swallow its own tongue so that I could deal with my anger and despair in silence. I once again crawled out of my tent and packed everything up. This time, however, I just sat down and cried. It could have been 5 minutes. It could have been hours. I could not tell you. All of a sudden, something rustled in the dense bush behind me. It should have startled me, but I was too upset to care. To be honest, I kind of hoped it was some large carnivorous creature that would end my suffering. I knew I was never going to find my way out of the jungle because my compass was broken. A single, small, awkward-looking monkey slowly walked into view. I sat there staring at it, and it stared back. Up until this point, I realized not only had I not even seen a mammal on this entire trip, this monkey, in fact, matched the sketch of the rare monkey I was given by my friend. This monkey had a weird calm about him. After sitting there for a while, he came toward me. When he was about 3 feet away from me, he stopped, and to my surprise, stretched out his hand to me. I did not know what to do. This was a wild animal acting almost human. I offered my hand in return, regretting I had ever contemplated hunting this creature in the first place. The monkey moved forward and grasped my hand as best he could with his small and interestingly gentle and soft fingers. He turned and with the other hand pointed in a direction. I looked, but all there was endless jungle. The monkey let go and started to walk away from me. With nothing else to do, I followed him, not knowing where we were going or why I even was following a monkey. We walked and walked, him leading, me following. He never made a sound. All he did was occasionally glance back at me, seemingly making sure I was still close behind. He had a sense of calm about him that was infectious. He made me feel like wherever we were going, that everything was going to be okay.